brought Clara and the Bookwagon by Nancy Smiler Levinson today. It's a level 3 book. Chapter 1, On the Farm. Clara lived on a small farm in Maryland. She helped feed the chickens. She helped Mama cook stew. She helped take care of little Hans and baby Anne. In the spring, she worked side by side with Papa planting corn. Clara did not go to school. There were no schools for the farm children. But Clara wanted to learn. She wanted to learn about the sun and the stars. She wanted to learn how corn grew from seeds. But most of all, she wanted to learn to read. Once after church, Reverend Strong showed Clara his family Bible. "What a big Bible," Clara said. "And what wonderful stories," said Reverend Strong. Clara loved to hear stories. She loved to hear them told in church every Sunday. Sometimes she liked to make up her own stories. Some were about animals, and some were about families, and some were about a farm girl, just like herself. If only I could read stories, she thought. If only I had a storybook of my own. But there was no money for extra things, and sometimes Clara got tired of doing farm work. And then she would lie in the grass or rock in a rocking chair Papa had carved and dream. One day, Clara was helping Mama bake bread. "Mama," she asked, "how does bread rise in the oven?" "Oh dear," Mama said, "I cannot tell you now. I'm too busy." Clara opened the oven door to take a peek. "Close the door, Clara," said Mama, "or the bread will not rise." "Yes, Mama," said Clara. She sat down in the rocking chair. Back and forth she rocked, back and forth. She thought about the bread dough. She thought about it rising and rising until it popped through the oven door. Clara laughed to herself. The kitchen door opened. It was Papa. He looked hot and tired. His boots were dusty. "Are you dreaming again?" he asked Clara. "Yes, Papa," she said. "There's no time for dreaming on a farm," said Papa. "Everyone must help, or we will have no food on our table." "Yes, Papa," said Clara. Little Hans ran into the kitchen. "Eat, eat," he cried. "It's not dinner time yet," said Mama. "Come, Hans," said Clara. "We will set the table, and then I will tell you a story." "I will go out to chop some wood," said Papa. "Good," said Mama. "By that time, dinner will be ready." Chapter 2, A Trip to Town. Clara and Mama were scrubbing clothes. "Mama, Clara," Papa called, "I have to go into town. We need more corn seed." "We need more flour and sugar too," Mama said. "Can I go with you?" asked Clara. "I promise to help." Papa smiled. "Come along then," he said. Clara helped Papa hitch the horse to the wagon. Town was a long way off, almost 7 miles. "We will be back by sundown," Papa told Mama. Mama waved goodbye, and Hans waved goodbye, and baby Anne cried. Clop, clop, clop. The horse plodded along. The sun was warm, and the spring air smelled good. Clara and Papa rode until they came to a stream. "This looks like a good spot to rest," said Papa. He pulled the wagon to a stop. Clara ran to the stream and cupped her hands to drink the clear, cool water. "How good this tastes, Papa," said Clara. Papa took a drink and splashed water on his face. "It feels good too," he said. And then Papa gave the horse a drink. "Papa, do you know what else would taste good?" Clara said. "What?" said Papa. "A peppermint stick," said Clara. "A trip to town would not be the same without a candy treat," Papa said. Clara and Papa climbed back in the wagon and rode on. At last they came to town. Mr. Holzer greeted them at the store. "Nice weather we're having," he said. "Yes," said Papa. "Good weather for planting." Clara looked around the store. There was thread for sewing, there were pots for cooking, there were tools for building, and then Clara saw the books. A shelf full of books. Clara took down one book and opened it. There were so many letters. There were so many words. It made her dizzy. Well, said Mr. Holzer. "So you want to borrow a book?" Clara looked up. "How much does it cost?" she asked. "It does not cost a cent. It's a library book," said Mr. Holzer. "My store is a book station. It does not cost anything to borrow a book." Clara asked. "That's right," said Mr. Holzer. "The books are free of charge." Clara ran to Papa. "Papa, look," she said. "I can borrow a book free of charge. I can learn to read." Papa did not smile. He put his arm around Clara. "Books are for rich people," he said. "Farm people like us do not have time to read." Papa put the book back on the shelf, and Clara's eyes filled with tears. Papa handed Clara a peppermint stick. "Here, Clara," he said, "you almost forgot your candy treat. Come. It's time to load the wagon. It's time to start for home." Chapter 3, The Black Wagon. One summer day, Clara and Papa were weeding the garden patch. "Clara," Mama called, "I'm going to make a blueberry jam. Would you like to pick the berries?" "Oh, yes," said Clara. She looked at Papa, and Papa smiled. "You have been weeding a long time," he said. "I will finish this job." Clara took the bucket and ran to the wild blueberry field. She sang as she picked the berries. Suddenly, she saw something coming down the road. It was a big black wagon. The wagon was pulled by 2 horses. A lady was driving it. She waved and stopped. Clara stared at the wagon. It was filled with books. "Hello," called the lady. "I am Miss Mary, the librarian. And who are you?" Clara told Miss Mary her name. "Did you ride all the way from the city?" Clara asked. "Indeed," said Miss Mary. "Do you like our new moving library?" "Oh my, yes," said Clara. "I never knew there were so many books in the world." Miss Mary said, "We have books for the young, we have books for the old, and we have books for people in between." "Do you have any for a girl like me?" Clara asked. "Indeed," said Miss Mary. "We have Mother Goose and Father Goose. We have The Wizard of Oz and all the magic Oz tales. We have The Rabbit, Witch, and Peter Pan, and poems of every kind." Clara could hardly say a word. "Would you like to borrow a book?" Miss Mary asked. "You may keep it until the next wagon trip." "Oh, I wish I could," said Clara, "but Papa says books are a waste of time for farm people." "Nonsense," said Miss Mary. "We will go and speak to your Papa. Climb up here quickly." Clara climbed up into the book wagon. Chapter 4, Books for Clara. "Giddy up, giddy up." Miss Mary got the horses moving. Bump, bump, bump. The wagon moved along the dusty road. "How amazing," thought Clara. "I am riding on a book wagon. I am riding home on a book wagon. Oh, what will Papa think?" Bump, bump, bump. They rode right up to the garden patch. Papa looked angry. "You have made a mistake," he shouted. "We have no dead here." "This is not a hearse wagon to pick up the dead," said Miss Mary. "I'm Mary Titcomb, the library, and this is the first moving library. Papa frowned. I bring books to people who live in the country, said Miss Mary. Said Papa. Our farm is not the right place for a book wagon. The wagon is for all farms, Miss Mary told Papa. Books are for everyone. We are too busy here, said Papa. Thank you and good day. Busy people must read sometimes, Miss Mary said. Reading is good fun. Reading can teach you new things about your work, too. Clara ran up to Papa. Please, Papa, she said. Papa looked at Miss Mary. I know Clara wants a book, he said, but she does not know how to read. If Clara wants to read, said Miss Mary, she will learn fast. Papa lowered his head. Well, Mama and I, we can only read a little, said Papa. Oh, I can teach Clara, Miss Mary said. Clara tugged at Papa's sleeve. Please, Papa, she said, I will not read until all my work is done. Clara waited for Papa to answer. At last, Papa said, I know you're good at keeping a promise. I am, said Clara. Papa sighed. All right, Clara, you may borrow a book. Oh, thank you, Papa, cried Clara. Clara ran to the wagon shelf. Miss Mary, will you help me choose? She asked. Indeed, Miss Mary said. Here is an alphabet book to start and a picture book of fairy tales. I will show you how to sound the letters. Clara looked at the alphabet book. She looked at the fairy tale book. Stories for me, she said. Stories for me to read. It says this story is based on a true account of the country's first traveling book wagon. How exciting. I remember the bookmobile at my elementary school, and that was super fun, and we always look forward to it coming. And the super fun part of this story is the librarian's name is Miss Mary, and my grandmother worked at a library, and her name was Mary. So, and I'll have more stories about Mary the librarian coming up soon. So, all right, friends, I hope you love this book. I will see you again soon.